Welcome to Legal English in Use and in Use. In Unit 4, you will enrich and improve your legal vocabulary. You will also read a judgment of the European Court of Human Rights on the case of Sargsyan versus Armenia. At the end of episode 1, you will also learn what complaints lodged with the European Courts of Human Rights are most frequent and what human rights are most frequently violated. Check your pronunciation of the words and word combinations. Reiterate. Public hearing. Furthermore. Adversarial. Infringe. The accused. Challenge.
Reiterate. Public hearing. Furthermore. Adversarial. Infringe. The accused. Challenge.
Repeat after the teacher. Reiterate. Public hearing. Furthermore. Adversarial. Infringe. The accused. Challenge.
Reiterate. Public hearing. Furthermore. Adversarial. Infringe. The accused. Challenge.
Repeat and remember the translation. Reiterate.
Повторювати.
Public hearing.
Відкрите судове засідання.
Furthermore.
Крім того.
Adversarial.
Змагальний.
Infringe.
Порушувати.
The accused.
Обвинувачений.
Challenge.
Заперечувати. Reiterate.
Повторювати.
Public hearing.
Відкрите судове засідання.
Furthermore.
Крім того.
Adversarial.
Змагальний.
Infringe.
Порушувати.
The accused.
Обвинувачуваний.
Challenge.
Заперечувати. Give a translation of the words. Reiterate.
Повторювати.
Public hearing.
Відкрите судове засідання.
Furthermore.
Крім того.
Adversarial.
Змагальний.
Infringe.
Порушувати.
The accused.
Обвинувачений.
Challenge.
Заперечувати. Reiterate.
Повторювати.
Public hearing.
Відкрите судове засідання.
Furthermore.
Крім того.
Adversarial.
Змагальний.
Infringe.
Порушувати.
The accused.
Обвинувачуваний.
Challenge.
Заперечувати. Give your English translation of the words. Повторювати.
Reiterate.
Відкрите судове засідання.
Public hearing.
Крім того.
Furthermore.
Змагальний.
Adversarial.
Порушувати.
Infringe.
Обвинувачуваний.
The accused.
Заперечувати.
Challenge. Повторювати.
Reiterate.
Відкрите судове засідання.
Public hearing.
Крім того.
Furthermore.
Змагальний.
Adversarial.
Порушувати.
Infringe.
Обвинувачений.
The accused.
Заперечувати.
Challenge. You will have 30 seconds to recall and write the list of words you have learned.
Reiterate. Public hearing. Furthermore. Adversarial. Infringe. The accused. Challenge.
How many words have you recalled? Define the words below and write the definitions in your notebook. Public hearing. Furthermore. Adversarial. Infringe. The accused. Challenge. Here's a model for you. Reiterate. To repeat a statement or opinion in order to make your meaning as clear as possible. Read the judgment of the case of Ter-Sargsyan versus Armenia to give the examples of the words in the sentences. Write the examples in your notebook. Reiterate. Public hearing. Furthermore. Adversarial. Infringe. The accused. Challenge. Fill in the gaps in the sentences using the words from the list and write the answers in your notebook. Public hearing. Furthermore. Infringe. Reiterates. Adversarial. The accused. Challenge. Categorize the highlighted words by the parts of speech. Produce as many parts of speech as possible from the given words. Here's a model for you. The court reiterates that the guarantees in paragraph 3d of Article 6 are specific aspects of the right to a fair hearing set forth in paragraph 1 of this provision. The highlighted word is reiterate, which is a verb. As an adjective, it has such form as reiterative. As an adverb, reiteratively. As a noun, reiteration.
The court further reiterates that all evidence must normally be produced at a public hearing in the presence of the accused with a view to adversarial argument. The highlighted words are public hearing and the accused. There are exceptions to this principle, but they must not infringe the rights of the defense. As a general rule, Article 6, paragraphs 1 and 3d require that the defendant be given an adequate and proper opportunity to challenge and question a witness against him, either when he makes his statements or at a later stage. The highlighted words are infringe and challenge.
Develop your own sentences with the words from the list and write them in your notebook. Reiterate. Public hearing. Furthermore. Adversarial. Infringe. The accused. Challenge. Here are some tips which will make learning new vocabulary more effective. Focus on the pronunciation of the words you hear. Try not to be distracted. Memorize spelling, memorize meaning, memorize use. Try to create effective mental image by associations. Check your pronunciation of the words and word combinations. Witness, defendant, evidence, corroborative evidence, good reason, legitimate reason.
Witness, defendant, evidence, corroborative evidence, good reason, legitimate reason.
Repeat after the teacher. Witness, defendant, evidence, corroborative evidence, good reason, legitimate reason.
Witness, defendant, evidence, corroborative evidence, good reason, legitimate reason.
Repeat and remember the translation. Witness,
Свідок,
defendant,
відповідач підсудний,
evidence,
показання,
corroborative evidence,
підтверджуючі докази,
good reason,
поважна причина,
legitimate reason.
законна підстава. Witness,
Свідок,
defendant,
відповідач, підсудний,
evidence,
показання,
corroborative evidence,
підтверджуючі докази,
good reason,
поважна причина,
legitimate reason.
законна підстава. Give your translation of the words. Witness,
Свідок,
defendant,
відповідач підсудний,
evidence,
показання,
corroborative evidence,
підтверджуючі докази,
good reason,
поважна причина,
legitimate reason.
законна підстава. Witness,
Свідок,
defendant,
відповідач, підсудний,
evidence,
показання,
corroborative evidence,
підтверджуючі докази,
good reason,
поважна причина,
legitimate reason.
законна підстава. Give your English translation of the words. Свідок,
Witness,
відповідач, підсудний,
defendant,
показання,
evidence,
підтверджуючі докази,
corroborative evidence,
поважна причина,
good reason,
Законна підстава.
Legitimate reason. Свідок.
Witness.
Відповідач підсудний.
Defendant.
Показання.
Evidence.
Підтверджуючі докази.
Corroborative evidence.
Поважна причина.
Good reason.
Законна підстава.
Legitimate reason. You will have 30 seconds to recall and write a list of words you have learned.
Witness. Defendant. Evidence. Corroborative evidence. Good reason. Legitimate reason.
How many words have you learned? Define the words and write the definitions in your notebook. Defendant, evidence, corroborative evidence, reason, legitimate. Here's a model for you. Witness. Someone who appears in a court of law to say what they know about a crime or other event. Read the judgment of the case of Ter Sargsyan versus Armenia to give the examples of the words in the sentences. Write the examples in your notebook. Witness, defendant, evidence, corroborative evidence, good reason, legitimate reason. Fill in the gaps in the sentences using the words from the list and write the answers in your notebook. Evidence, corroborative evidence, defendant, good reason, legitimate reasons, witness. Categorize the highlighted words by the parts of speech. Produce as many parts of speech as possible from the given words. Here's a model for you. Where the untested evidence of a witness is supported by other corroborative evidence, the assessment of whether it is decisive will depend on the strength of the supportive evidence. Corroborative is a highlighted word which is an adjective. Word, corroborate. Noun, corroboration.
The court should first examine the preliminary question of whether there was a good reason for admitting the evidence of an absent witness. The highlighted word is reason. The next sentence, Article 6, paragraphs 1 and 3d require that the defendant be given an adequate and proper opportunity to challenge and question a witness against him. The highlighted word is defendant. There are, however, other legitimate reasons why a witness may not attend trial. The highlighted word is legitimate.
Develop your own sentences with the words from the list and write them in your notebook. Witness, defendant, evidence, corroborative evidence, good reason, legitimate reason. The rights and freedoms secured by the Convention include the right to life, the right to respect of private and family life, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of religious belief, freedom of thought. The Convention prohibits, in particular, torture and inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment, arbitrary and unlawful detention, and discrimination in the enjoyment of the rights and freedoms secured by the Convention. The following video is about the violation of human rights in such countries as Turkey, France, Italy, and the Republic of Macedonia. Try to answer the question, what human rights are most frequently violated? To learn more, just dive into the video. Follow the course and feel confident in legal English.
Since it was first set up, the court has completed the examination of hundreds of thousands of cases. This is hardly surprising, given that the number of individuals covered by this system totals around 820 million people. That is the number of potential applicants living in the countries which have undertaken to comply with the Convention. In reality, however, there are even more potential applicants, non-Europeans, whether they are refugees or other individuals who happen to be within the jurisdiction of a member state, are also protected. For instance, the court found a violation of the Convention by Italy following the forced return of Somalians and Eritreans to Libya, from where they had originally set out by boat for Europe. The court held that they would be at risk of ill treatment if they were repatriated. In exceptional cases, the scope of the Convention can also extend beyond Europe's borders. The court found the United Kingdom to be in breach of the Convention following the deaths of civilians in Iraq during security operations carried out by British forces. The court held that, as an occupying power responsible for maintaining security in the region concerned, the United Kingdom should have conducted an investigation into civilian deaths in which British soldiers were involved. A state can thus be held responsible for events occurring outside its territory. But states can also be held accountable for acts committed within their jurisdiction by another state, if they were aware of them. This was the case with the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, which was found to be in breach of the Convention because a person suspected of terrorism was tortured while on that state's territory. The torture had been committed by CIA agents, but in the presence of officials of the state concerned. Numerous rights are protected under the Convention. The most fundamental is the right to life, and the death penalty is no longer applied in any member state of the Council of Europe. Some cases concern the treatment to which the population is subjected in conflict zones. Other cases relate to the state's failure to protect individuals. The court found a violation by Turkey for an infringement of the right to life and discrimination against women. The case concerned physical assaults carried out repeatedly by a man on his wife and his mother-in-law. The husband later killed his mother-in-law. The court has also had to rule on the sensitive issue of the end of life. In a case against France, it held that there would not be a violation of the Convention in the event of implementation of a decision by the French courts to authorize the withdrawal of artificial nutrition and hydration from a person in a vegetative state. Another fundamental right is the prohibition of torture and inhuman or degrading treatment. Greece was found to be responsible for the torture of an unlawful migrant from Turkey, whose boat was stopped by Greek Coast Guard officials while he was attempting to reach Italy. The man had then been beaten and sexually assaulted by one of the officials. In numerous other cases, brought against various countries, the court has identified problems with overcrowding in prisons and inhuman and degrading conditions of detention. But most of the cases coming before the court concern the right to a fair hearing, and especially the length of domestic proceedings. The court has received thousands of applications from individuals who in some cases have waited more than 20 years for a final judgment in their own country. There are also very many cases concerning the failure to execute final judicial decisions. For example, Anatoly Burdov, who worked on the Chernobyl site following the nuclear disaster, had to wait several years before the Russian authorities paid him the compensation awarded by the domestic courts for his health problems. The court in Strasbourg held that a state could not cite budget shortages as a reason for not executing a judicial decision.